Eyewitness News starts right now with breaking news.
Flames are ripping through an apartment building along Canal Boulevard in Charleston.
This is really just devastating for everyone to watch, firefighters included. This building at the Regal Apartments is about 35 units. We were the first news crew on the scene, and so we've really watched all of this play out from the very beginning when some of the very first fire trucks arrived here. Earlier, we didn't see any of these flames or that thick gray-black smoke.
All right, thank you, Daniel. Continuing our team coverage now.
We do know at this time it is believed that everyone made it out okay, but we are talking about 35 people who are now displaced, now without a home as crews continue to fight this fire. As Daniel mentioned, Red Cross is on scene and will be providing temporary relief. But what a loss this is for those who live there. Now, we did have a chance to speak with someone who did make it out.
I'm just glad that number one, I am safe.
I actually want to show you, this is a live look. This usually is the Oakwood, West Virginia 511 camera, but they're looking across the river. You can see that smoke just extending out here. You got to remember, we're in a valley, folks. So again, this is going to continue to fill the city here. There's really nowhere for this smoke to go. It's not rising very high. I actually want to show you, this is from Mick Wiseman, one of my buddies of the city here. You can see this is just filling into downtown here. Look at the smoke plume.
Thanks to the Red Cross, they're on their way and will be setting up shelter, and the residents right now are safe inside the next church.
Have we gotten to that next point where we talk about the donations? Have we, with the Red Cross, where do we know how many people are displaced at this time?
Well, everybody who lived in the building, so we're talking about 25 to 27 people. Opposite
direction, the wind, the weather could be playing a role in really the fight against this fire and the difficulties with this fire. As we said, the smoke was going the opposite direction here just only 3 minutes ago, and so that creates additional challenges for firefighters. We saw that firefighters were knocking out some of the windows in the front of the building.
I'm standing with someone right now who has been impacted. This is Martin Peterson. Martin, walk me through this evening. What has happened?
I was down in Dunbar. My son called me.
With this fire, we see behind us the flames continuing to grow. The black smoke, thick black smoke is back. And I mean, this is something that you're probably used to, but on the same hand, every fire is unique in some way. Is that correct?
Yes, and this is a larger scale fire for us here in Charleston. We do handle a lot of residential structure fires. However, something of this magnitude, a 4-story building with this much involvement.
The powerful story. You've only lived in this building for 2 weeks. Talk about your story.
Yeah, been homeless for a couple years. Things have been bad, and 2 weeks ago, I was fortunate enough to get this place.
One from Ariana Saunders earlier. This was just first initial videos here of the fire as it just started. I mean, you can just see that heavy smoke and the flames causing the major issues for those firefighters there.
If you've just tuned in over the past couple minutes, there has been a huge apartment fire right in the east end of Charleston on Canal Boulevard East in the 1400 block. It's the Regal Apartments. It happened about a little more than 3 hours ago. We also want to let you keep in mind that Canal Boulevard is shut down right now, and it's between Ruffner Avenue and Bradford Street where traffic is impassable. There are more than 70 firefighters on scene. We believe that's all the firefighters in the city. We've heard from 2 people from Anna Saunders. Just heartbreaking stories of loss.
Yeah, one of the guys actually told us that when he got to the scene, he tried to get to the scene to go inside and rescue his dog. Firefighters wouldn't let him, and It's
hampering a lot of our efforts right now. We are working right now with the building commissioner of the city. The fire chief will make this decision here shortly. We are considering beginning some demolition of the building with heavy equipment.
We just continue to hear more and more heartbreaking stories from some of the 35 people who lived inside of those apartments. Now, luckily, we are told that they made it out okay, but as you can imagine, so many belongings lost, so many clothes, people talking about their medicines. Nobody really knows what to do next. Red Cross is here on scene. One of the churches along Canal Boulevard has also opened up their doors to the displaced. But I want to also show you the scene right now, just the heavy smoke presence still here, still fighting these fires, even still flames coming out of the top. Every fire crew in Charleston here tonight.
Just continuing to fill out of the Regal Apartments, and this is also continuing to fill the city as well. We've got gusts between 25 and 35 miles per hour, possibly gusting up to 40 with this gusty line of showers we have moving through. I mean, this is just kind of a wild scene here. You see all of the nighttime. You can see the Capitol building here, and then you've got the smoke plume right there in the middle. And I can't stress this enough. There are some concerns when it comes down to that smoke. The most at risk when it comes down to the smoke that is filling the city
We continue our breaking news coverage right now of the Regal Apartments, which caught fire about 3.5 hours ago right there in the 1400 block of Canal Boulevard East. Everyone did make it out safely. Nobody got hurt. More than 75 firefighters are on scene right now.
Behind me, we're kind of on the other side of Canal Boulevard where crews are still continuing to battle this fire. It has been going on now for hours, and you can still see the flames there through the trees. We're also here at the Living Word Christian Center. This is where it has kind of become a bit of a gathering place on short notice for people to come. They just opened their doors to allow some of the displaced to come in here to possibly bring this apartment building down. Sorry, it's so windy out here right now, and the smoke is just getting blown. But they said one of the solutions tonight, it might just be to start bringing the building down. And you're watching a live look right now as they maybe start that process, as that moves closer and closer to the Regal Apartments up there where they continue to battle the flames. You are watching this possibly come down live right now. I believe it has made contact with the building, starting to give it a little pressure. It is starting to break apart right now. Some of it is starting to come down, and this is supposed to help the firefighters really break down some of that material. We're told there's a lot of tar up top that is causing all of those flames. It is making this very, very difficult to be put out. And here we go. Here's some of the buildings starting to come down right now. We just watched these crews come through, and now we are watching the process of this building coming down.
And residents inside that church, I just want to go back to that thought where residents are they're in shock. They're saddened, and they're some people just moved in 2 weeks ago, and now they're watching it literally crumble before their eyes in smoke and flames. And now this excavator is working to bring down more of the building, and this seems to be one of those final solutions that they never want to do, but in this case they do have to demolish the building and everything else that's inside.
Dozens sent running from their homes by massive flames.
This is the biggest fire I've ever seen.
424 Canal Boulevard East at Regal Apartments. Multiple calls, smoke coming from the roof.
Fire ripping through an apartment complex in Charleston.
We just moved here 2 months ago.
Now, more than 30 people are without a home.
This is bad. This is real bad.
Local leaders rushing to the scene.
We have residents on the street who've lost every single thing that they own.
Now those burned out of their homes are trying to pick up the pieces.
I mean, we lost everything.
They're staying in this Best Western, which is right across from the Clay Center. I spoke to a few residents tonight. They didn't want to go on camera because, honestly, they're really trying to process exactly what happened. One woman told me she's in shock, she's upset, and she was inside of the grocery store when she heard about the fire, and all she has left are the clothes on her back.
We're here by the West Virginia Regional Response Team. This is just one of the people that are out here. But let's really take you back to the Regal Apartments. We're going to take you as close as we possibly can. And of course, our photographer Hannah is going to walk across in the water with us. Be careful there. This is as close as we can possibly get to the demolition that's going on here. And so this is what's left of the building, and they really had no other option. This was a last resort when this fire was raging earlier, where they did make the decision with the city engineers and with all of the crews, the fire crews, the mayor, where they said, look, we need to bring in a demolition team. And this was bound to happen anyway once they realized that there was no turning back. And what's really sad is that we can see some of the mattresses that are here of some of the stuff that's just left over from some of these people's homes, people's lives, reduced to rubble. And so we see there's just nothing but twisted metal, really. And so it's very eerie when you're staring into the open building and you see, a ceiling fan, you see a light, you see pictures of family members sitting on a nightstand that is now in rubble, basically. And so there was no choice really here, where they realized that
it's been one of those days where you might have been out on a walk, like James, who was just out on a walk around the city, and you could just see the smoke just filling again out of the Regal Apartments there. So we're going to continue to follow this. As you can see, numerous posts from social media, including the Living Word Christian Center that is continuing to help. They're praying for folks tonight. You've also got the images from folks that were just walking around and seeing the smoke, and we'll continue to monitor social media for you all night long. Dave?
Have continuing coverage for you today on that massive fire at the Regal apartment building right on Canal Boulevard in Charleston. Now we have team coverage for you this afternoon with Ava Rash live at the scene and Anna Saunders, who's at the Best Western Hotel as the Red Cross continues to help the victims of the fire. Ava, we'll start with you right now. What's left of the building?
Well, Jennifer, right now it's just a bunch of debris behind me in this skeleton shell of what's left of the Regal Apartments complex. Now, whenever you look around the building, you can actually see mattresses, a laundry basket, some blankets there as well. So just really sad to see what's left of this building. Now, they are keeping the perimeter up for right now. The city of Charleston tells me that they're keeping that there to help contain the debris, which will help when they start loading it out. And they want to do that as soon as possible. Now, we're going to show you video from the scene last night, which is a big contrast from what you're seeing right now. About 75 firefighters fought the flames for hours yesterday. 35 families have been displaced during this situation. Now, I spoke with John Van Wyck this morning. He lived at the Regal and was inside when the fire started. For him, he just wishes he could have gotten some of his belongings back.
Just like right now, I'm devastated, and I just don't know. I'm blessed to be alive, and I'm glad I'm alive. And you know, they always say you can have it worse. Yeah. Well, somebody can, so I'm happy, I guess. But just looking at it and just wishing I could get some of my things I lost. I had a picture of my brother that passed, and that's the last one I had.
So sad. And Van Wyck came here this morning. He actually picked up a brick as a memento of what's left of his home. So a very sad situation. The community came out, though, last night and really rallied behind these victims and the crews that were here for hours. Man and Meal came out with food. Health Right came out with prescriptions. So, you know, we're just seeing the community coming together throughout this devastating situation. And of course, we're going to keep you updated when we learn more. We still don't know how this fire started, but we are expecting to learn more from the city of Charleston later today. So we'll keep you posted on that. For now, reporting live in Charleston, Ava Rash, Eyewitness News.
Ava, thank you. And help has been pouring in now for the people who lived at the Regal Apartments. Eyewitness News reporter Anna Saunders joins us now with details on that. And Anna, the people who've lost everything had some help overnight with a place to stay.
Yeah, that's right. We're actually standing here right now at the Best Western in Charleston, and this is where those displaced families stayed last night. This is also where Red Cross is doing intake this morning to help people get back up on their feet. This morning they brought all of the people into the lobby to begin the intake process, finding out their immediate needs and getting them set up with resources. They will be fed here 3 times a day and provided ways to get what they need and get where they need with transportation. Now, right now, it's really about getting them things like clothes, phone chargers, medications, hygiene products, and then documenting what they will need long term.
We have reassured them multiple times that, you know, Red Cross don't stop when we're tired, we stop when we're done, and we're here and we're going to make sure they're taken care of. And it's going to be a few days, but we're here. We're going to make sure they're getting fed every day, good healthy meals. We got wonderful donors calling us in, so it's been wonderful. The community outreach is overwhelming, and I'm so proud to be a part of this.
Now, of course, we've had so many people ask how they can help, and that's what we're going to talk a little bit about right now. I have Erica Manny with me from Red Cross. First off, I know so many people have reached out. They want to know how they can help. They want to know how they can, you know, support these people. What's the best way right now that these people can provide help?
Right now, the best thing to do is if you want to support Home Fire Campaign and responding to families and individuals who've been losing everything in home fires like this, redcross.org.
As you heard, there are lots of ways to help. Be sure to stay tuned on our website and throughout our shows for more information on how to do so. For now, live in Charleston, Anna Saunders, Eyewitness News.
Anna, thank you very much. One way people get the word out about things like this when they happen is through social media. And that's how a lot of people found out about that fire yesterday. We want to show you some of the pictures that have come in and that we were noticing on social media outlets. You can see things from last night as well. You can tell how bad that situation was there. But I want to bring this one up for you right now. You can see the rubble that's left from the apartment building, from the Regal Apartments there. Items here, you can see some personal effects of some of the people who live there that have been just trickling out as the demolition continues right there. And that crane came in. You can see it right here. That was about 7 o'clock yesterday evening, a little before 7, when they first went in and started pulling some of the bricks down from the wall that faced Canal Boulevard. It was a very sad scene there for so many people. Those